The tires are coming down.
It's like just a gust of wind. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Is the wind bothering you coming up 30?
Oh, like my car was, moving the whole time. It was just as I walked up to the door, it was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to open the door. It's not too cold out there, at least. It's pretty mild temperature-wise.
Wait until morning.
Ah, yeah.
6 o'clock.
I was gonna give Rick
Do it.
a minute.
You can come late.
Okay, well, I've been told it's 6 o'clock, so let's open the meeting and have the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Denny Sands.
Here.
Mark Stanley.
Here.
Jeff Jeffco is absent. Callan Welsh.
Here.
Josh Snyder. Here. And Richard is absent currently.
I just take a minute to mention, I know why Jeff is not here tonight. He's got a grandson graduating from the Police Training Institute down in Champaign. And he's also got a son coming home from Okinawa, Japan from a deployment over there.
Good deal.
So I think he's got a reason not to be here.
Absolutely.
That's great. So we'll go on with corrections to the agenda. Does anybody have any? I would like to add one. It would be under new business G. I'd like to start a discussion about a digital sign for the village. So with that being said, could we have a vote to approve the agenda motion?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
All in favor? Do we have any citizens addressing the board? Anything on the paper? Okay. Reports in action, annual audit report. Guess that's you.
That's me. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see everybody. As you know, I'm Jen Martinson, a partner with Lauterbach and Amon, here to present the audit results for the fiscal year ended April 30th, 2025. As the village knows, the village is required to undergo an independent financial statement audit each fiscal cycle. And really the goal of the audit, or our responsibility as your auditors, is to be able to provide an opinion on the financial statements. That's okay. So really the goal of the audit, or our responsibility as your auditors, is to be able to provide an opinion on the financial statements presented this evening. So we have done that. We have completed our audit testing procedures. We've reviewed the internal control environment for the village, and we have issued that clean, unmodified audit opinion again for fiscal year 2025. So that is the highest opinion we can issue, the highest level of assurance we can provide on the financial statements. And it really just means that the financial statements are materially correct, or do in fact accurately represent the financial position of the village. So probably the most important piece of information here is we have that clean, unmodified audit opinion. I know there's a lot of information. I know we went kind of in detail through this at our last finance committee meeting together. And I do just want to point out a few areas for the board. So the first would be...
Anybody wants to look, it's inside the magazine laying at you is the full audit report. The final version.
Perfect. So the, what I would say probably most important section is going to be starting on page 4, which is your MD&A, or Management's Discussion and Analysis. And so this section really is that executive summary to the audit report. So it's really going to summarize all of the financial information follow. It's just a handful of pages, and so it's going to focus on those key highlights for the year, changes from the prior year to the current year, And so really, if you read just that section, you'll have a full comprehensive understanding of the entire report. As I know, it is quite a bit of information. So if you focus your attention there, that should be helpful and a little bit easier to digest. Just to touch briefly on overall changes in fund balances for governmental funds. There was a decrease in fund balances this year, with ending fund balance coming in at just over $184,000 for the year for those governmental funds. Additionally, as part of the audit process, we would be required to discuss this evening if there were any disagreements during the audit or difficulties with management. I'm happy to say that there were not. We do also have that smaller document that we issue that is the management letter. And this really is our way to just communicate with the board and with management if there were any best practices, some information on upcoming standards, so those GASB or Governmental Accounting Standards Board statements that we are required to comply with. So information on those coming up as well. So just a few comments that are in that file there. Just a note that your general fund is not in compliance with fund balance policy, as you are aware. And then also some information on really IT security awareness. So not anything that we felt was necessarily concerning, but just more broadly to make sure that the board is aware there are, significantly more risks in that IT space, and just have an awareness for that as well. So in conclusion, we have that clean audit opinion. I do want to say thank you to Jen as well for all of her hard work during the audit process. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
I've got one,
Yes.
two. Later on in our business, we're gonna be, moving some funds that total about $76,000.
Okay.
To 3 different funds. Is that a normal thing that villages do, or is this an exception, or is this a good thing, is this a bad thing? I'm not a auditor, so I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's hard for me to speak to whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not sure what the fund transfers are for, but transferring funds between your different fund types is completely normal.
Does that mean that we're deficient in the general fund then?
It really just depends on why the transfers are happening. I'm not sure if you want to share more information.
Well, I'd like to share more information. I'd like an answer.
Okay, so the general fund was in the negative once we got everything straightened out. So we're transferring funds from other, from the water debt reduction.
That's a different thing.
Oh, that's a different thing, sorry.
Facade whatever it's called.
The facade fund.
Facade fund, that money transferred to, because we're not using it for facade, transferring it to the general fund to help the general fund. And the second interfund transfer, Denny, is from 2020 when the village waived a quarter's worth of utility billing. It was over $79,000, $59,957 was water sewer debt reduction, and that was paid out of general fund. So
Oh,
this
we
would
talked
be
about this.
paid, Jen said if that's the case, we could propose, the board could decide if we wanted to transfer from the funds that the general fund covered in 2020 back to the general fund,
To
pay the
repay
general fund back
Yep.
as a debt obligation.
Okay, one more question.
Yeah.
Are we in good shape, medium shape, bad shape? Overall opinion?
So it's really hard to answer that question. It's very broad, obviously.
Well, there's something we can do better, I guess.
Yeah, so I think you guys are discussing, the overall health of your funds, right? So the general fund and the concern there, and then figuring out ways that other funds, so especially water and sewer, maybe are doing better, and bringing some of that money back into the general fund, which is your operating fund, right? So when we're looking at ending fund balance for the general fund, it is low, which I think you probably are aware of, as you're seeing only 23,000 in that ending fund balance. And typically we would like to see, or I know you have a policy surrounding the fund balance policies, we usually would recommend having what you would anticipate could be 3 to 6 months of expenses as maybe a cushion in that fund. And so you don't have that currently.
Yeah, we're way short of that.
Yes, yeah, so that is maybe one way to be able to review the financial statements from that aspect.
So, in your opinion, as our auditor, we've asked the question before, all these funds are lumped together in one one checking account,
Yeah,
okay?
you have, yes, yeah.
And it seems to us, by overlooking it, that the nutshell game had been played, so to say,
Mhm.
with the monies that are in the checking account that are supposed to be for the individual accounts. Would it be, in your opinion, is it beneficial for us to leave it in one checking account or split it up so you get rid of the nutshell game with the money?
Yeah, that would be completely up to you guys if you wanted to move forward with a decision like that. I think the offset of that, or the other side of that, would be, it would be an increase in administrative support, I think, if you have those separate funds of which one's set up as a checking, and then which fund is that being paid out of, and making sure there probably would have to be some manual transfers
A lot. of
and
manual
reconciliations
transfers.
happening.
If it-
Um,
With the
I
exception of
get
grants.
I get, because we've talked about it before,
Yeah.
Jeff. The only thing I'm looking at or I'm seeing is the fund that always, because you call it a fund, even though it's coming out of one account,
Mhm.
the fund that is always hurting is the general fund.
Mhm.
And we're negative like 32,000 in the general fund, and I guess to get away from the nutshell game, as I
Yeah.
call it,
Yeah,
on what money gets shifted, we need to figure out a better way to handle it, to split them up so you're not taking away from water or sewer, okay? Because I know you were chasing it for a while on, when you first started, it was like $500,000 or something was missing
Mhm.
from water or sewer, and it was moved around.
Mhm.
You're moving to pay Peter with Paul's money?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think we need to come up with a solution that wouldn't hurt what
It
you're
It
doing,
wouldn't impact us. I think that the impact would definitely be from an internal perspective.
because we've
Yeah.
talked about it
Mhm.
already. But I think first and foremost, we need to get back in the black
Yeah,
instead of in the red.
and evaluate, which I think you guys are doing. You're evaluating where those funds are,
Okay.
what should be in each of the funds from a restriction, if there's a restriction associated with those funds, so.
And of
I
course-
think that's what we're gonna try to attempt to do later tonight is move some money that was in 2020.
Yes, for
We're
the,
trying to do that, and then with the facade fund, one of the recommendations they got here, they're talking about commingled cash, which
yes,
that's what you're talking about,
yep,
and we need to do something about that. I'd ask Cal and Richard what they think as far as being on the finance committee, what their take on it is.
Yes, and for my take right now,
Yeah.
I actually, the commingled cash, I don't really see the problem. Like the fundamental problem is that the village is spending too much money. The fact that it's commingled, like that's just a question of accounting.
no, absolutely, I'm not downing anything about it, I'm just saying, when you're talking about $500,000,
Yeah, no, I get it.
you know, it's like, why?
Yeah, but just the fact, like if it wasn't commingled, like they could have found a way to spend that money anyway. It might have been just
Yeah.
like one extra sheet of paper. but,
Exactly,
you know,
exactly.
But yes, to expand on what he's saying, the commingling doesn't change the fact that if it wasn't commingled, those funds still would be overspent, I think is essentially.
Yes.
That's what we got, but I'm trying not to overspend any of the funds. I think that lays to a problem with our budgeting procedure, and we're gonna attempt that. Your recommendations are for us to work on it, then we are gonna work on it and try to change some things. The amounts of money that had to be moved around to make this audit right is staggering.
Mhm.
I don't know if moved around is the right place, but
Yeah, just where
right
they were
words are just
classified.
put in the right place, but to Mark's point, the shell game seems to be quite obvious here.
Yes.
And we're gonna, I think all of us here
Mhm.
want to get away from that.
Yeah, I mean, what, guys, say something. I spent some time being treasurer on the fire district. We had separate accounts for everything. The reason why we had separate accounts, when you did an audit and told the public where you're spending money, everything was separate. There was nothing hidden. It was, you had started out with this amount of money, you spent this, and you end up with that. I know it's more work, but for taxpayer, I want it plain and simple.
That's good.
The challenge is though, is every time we do payroll, twice a month, then if we have separate accounts, we're manually moving money, cause a payroll's paid out of water,
I get
sewer.
that, Jen, but
and-
when you look at
And in the past, when we weren't commingled, there was a lot of errors, and it's open to errors.
well, I get that, there's gotta be a better way, because when you look at the financials now, it's a shell game. You can't figure it out. And it's not that big of a municipal.
We're confident coming out of this audit that all the monies are now where they're supposed to be, because that was the problem, is that there were monies placed in general that should have never been placed in general. $500,000 worth, basically, $475,000. That's now moved to water through the process. There was a few other things that moved as well. And going forwards, Angie and I have been working really closely and talking about where monies are being placed, are they being placed correctly, and making sure that there's been a few things where it's like, okay, we need to key this to this, and we get help from Locus on that, and we're making sure that the accounts then and the funds are all are correct and accurate.
We're gonna make some changes as to how we budget and appropriate, I hope with the help of the finance committee, which we'll talk about a little bit later tonight. We'll get there. We can't get it done overnight, but we can sure work on it every night.
I get that, I just think it needs to be transparent
Yeah.
where the money is being spent and how it's being spent.
That's very much what I want, and I think the finance committee's on board, I hope.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with the commingling of funds, other than dividing out restricted funds, grants, and
And we're
then,
proposing,
right,
you guys
so I
approve
mean,
on
if you keep
separate
those
checking
separate,
account
it's
for
gonna make it
grants
much
fund.
easier, and you're not gonna have misplacement of funds. Where did that go, why is that over here? I mean, you have a general fund, you have the restricted funds, and then you have grants. If you keep them separate, you should be fine, but, you know.
separating water, sewer, I mean, all the utility bills will be paid in, most of them in January. So if we have separate water and sewer accounts, we are having to manually transfer all that revenue coming in into separate accounts. So, and that's a shell game within checking accounts.
Yeah, but those aren't restricted funds, so. Alright,
Water and sewer.
Well, water,
Right.
sewer technically are supposed to be spent for water or sewer.
Yeah.
However, if the commingled account, if general needs support, they're helping support it. There's no option there. And there's no police officer that's gonna come arrest us for doing that. So, but our goal is to get the general fund back up so it is self-sufficient again.
To your point, we're gonna get there tonight for that, I hope,
Yeah.
to get the general fund back in the black.
Yeah. One of my thoughts were, and I'll just throw it out there for people to think about, is you need the money set aside for water and sewer. Once we get back to operating in the black and we're good for a little bit, I think maybe we need to look at, can we just separate maybe a water and this is just an example, I'm not saying it will work that way, but maybe just throw water and sewer into an account by itself, so it's left alone, because that's the bulk.
But it's
Of
not
your
left
funds.
alone, because everything we do, we'd be manually transferring shell game and checking accounts. Because the revenues come in for utility bills, and they're all recorded in, the money's all deposit into, you can't separate out the checks that are coming in to deposit into multiple accounts. You have to deposit it all into one account, and then you would have to break out monies for water, for sewer. Because the payments are lump sum payments. So, I mean, if we got $9,000 worth of checks one week, we're depositing $9,000 worth of checks into one account.
Okay. Well, like I said, it's not like it needs to be ironed out. It was just an example of what.
I do think this particular board is gonna look at it a lot deeper than what previous boards did. So I think you guys will know, and it stands to have some work done on it.
And we are trying to provide more reports. We work with closely with Frank on that, to give you guys the information. Like one of the new reports in this month's packet was on utility billing, showing revenues for garbage, water, and sewer, and debt reduction and that, and then also showing some of the expenses that are coming out of those same accounts.
Fair enough.
Just to provide commentary from our past experience as well on what Jen said about when accounts weren't commingled, and not to sway a decision or say one way is right or the other, that is essentially your guys' decision. There were a lot of accounting errors on the other side of things from our perspective as well when accounts weren't commingled, so I think you need then strong accounting on that one side if you guys do go that route, just as a recommendation.
Would you recommend, rather than just looking at this once a year, maybe look at it every quarter?
So I was going to say, just from hearing all the conversations you guys are having, we have a whole department that is our client accounting advisory and assistance teams, our CAS team. This is what they do. They work with municipal government in more of the finance and accounting role. Obviously, from an audit standpoint, we would have to be discussing independence and what level of assistance we could provide. But even just from like a discussionary basis, when you're talking through changing how budgeting is happening, or how can we kind of think through these things, or the back end from the internal accounting, we could certainly have some sort of arrangement that we could
Yeah, we need some guidance there.
discuss and provide some guidance, yeah.
I don't know, quarterly, maybe semi-annually.
It could even really just be project-based and kind of upfront to get things going in a direction that you guys are looking for and kind of discussing at this moment in time, how we could make things work on the back end. Because a lot of it does come down to how it's set up in the accounting software, and I know that there's been challenges in the past with that as well. So it could essentially just be like an upfront project to get things off the ground, and then you probably wouldn't need us. You guys are very aware of the challenges you're facing and what you're trying to do, and so there could just be maybe some discussion and guidance in the beginning, and you probably wouldn't even need us from there.
I'd rather do it quarterly than twice a year, if that was your question.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Let's get things back up and in the black, and go from there.
We're trying to cut costs.
That being said,
That may be a wise, or not a wise opinion.
any other questions for the audit?
I do. So you're saying that we have a clean, unmodified audit opinion?
Yes.
Does that mean, based on the new state statute that rolls into play on January 1st, that of population, that if you have a clean audit, that you do not have to do your audit annually anymore? That do it every 4 years? Or because of our notes, do we need to do it annually?
No, the notes or the management letter comment piece of that does not impact your opinion.
So the clean audit means that
Yes.
next year we would qualify not to do an annual audit?
It would be,
Or
you
2
have to
years
do one
ago.
more, so in
2027?
Yes, you
Okay.
guys, if you fall under those certain population rules, yes.
Or, for those that don't know, it's been in the IML books and stuff, but it's one of the laws that's rolling out January 1st, that if you have a population of less than 1,000 and you have a clean audit, you only have to do it every 4 years. You can do it more frequently if you choose to.
I don't think Denny would like
So,
Yes, we do already have a lot of conversations with clients that are electing to still do them annually. So
How much total did the audit cost us?
I
$12,000.
was gonna say, I was like off the top of my head.
Okay, that's what I wanted to do.
And that's not including the man hours.
Right.
This
What are our last audit costs? Do we know?
About the same.
Is it?
Yeah, we
And
probably
based
have a
on
standard
information I see is
3 to 4%.
it's limited number of audit firms out there that do municipalities now, because there's certification you have to do it. And on average, it's, depending on your population, close to our population, on average is between $10,000 and $15,000 a year.
I'm ready to accept the audit report.
No more questions?
Gabby?
Well, I got a lot of questions, but very few answers. I'm just worried about the future, being where, you know, everything got so messed up in the past.
Mhm.
And to bring the two together, the past and the future, is not something you're gonna do overnight. That's my concern.
Isn't that the truth?
And like I said, I know I'm here just reporting, you know, results, and if you wanna reach out and discuss further how we can help, we'd be happy to have a discussion.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you very
that.
much for your bluntness and your answers.
Of course.
Yes, motion, yes, second.
Okay, we have a motion to accept the annual audit. I need a second,
I second it.
and we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Roll call vote accept resolution 2025-12-18 R1. Callan Welsh,
Yes.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Jenny Sands,
Yes.
Josh Schneider,
Yes.
Richard Blackowitz,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a great night.
Be careful
Thank you,
driving
Jen.
home, please.
Thank you. You guys too.
Didn't slick out.
Yeah.
Now we'll go to the village president's report. I'd like to make sure that everybody here realizes how much work Jen put into Winterfest. It looked to me like we had a pretty successful Winterfest. And that's due to Jen and some other volunteers that were in the church basement, so thank you, Jen, for your work on the Winterfest.
Was there any way to get a number on that, like attendance?
No, foot traffic was down. Santa had over 50 kids.
No,
And combining the library craft activity that Cindy Cinnamon hosts every year, she ran out of supplies halfway through because there was a lot more kids that were doing it because it was right there with Santa and the depot. So
it was forced.
Okay, and I'd also like to thank, well, Jerry's here tonight, and John. Tremendous job they did on moving snow. I can't tell you when we had a snow like this. It's been years. And I think everything was done very well, very, as economically as it could be, and as safely as it could be, so. Jerry, thank you, and make sure you,
Thank
let
you.
John know what my
Thank you.
sentiments were. And Jerry, I guess you're here for the Public Works report.
We did a lot of plowing snow, clean up, getting it back to the curbs. It was so wet. It was hard to plow it and get it up to the curbs when we were plowing. It's basically, you're trying to get the streets clean. We've done some maintenance on equipment that need to be done that, when we're not plowing snow. And some maintenance in well house 6, the new one. And we've been doing some webinar training on the lagoon, trying to get our hands wrapped around there a little bit more. And that being said, give you a little report for what I understand about the lagoon. When we had the write-up from the state, it was basically because of algae, and that's pretty hard to control from what I realize or know. They're looking at, that's suspended solids. Our numbers, and sorry I can't dig into this too much more because I'm still learning, but our numbers back then were somewhere around 57 was a suspended solids. Since then, which we can't take credit for it, but with working with Chris from TESS and the colder weather, we're down, September, we were down 14 suspended solids. Back up August, we're 18. October, we did not discharge because we're trying to keep the ponds up higher to have because the algae grows on like the first 2 foot. So you want to discharge water in the middle, not clear at the bottom and not clear at the top. So our pond was low because of lack of rain. So we chose not to discharge. So last month, our discharge to suspended solids was 16. So we feel like we're getting a handle on it. We'll know when it gets warmer weather and sunshine and rain.
Yep.
We'll know. But Chris has been a big help for us. I know he's the actual guy that isn't running the thing, but he's got to have our help. So.
Well, we're definitely in the window though, so.
Well, we hope so. Don't want to even applaud at this point, but if we get a whole year and we're better, then we'll all go have a cocktail. Right now, it's heading in the right direction.
Not a dirty one.
So, that's it.
Okay, thanks, Gary.
And now we'll go to committee reports. Infrastructure Committee, Mark.
Nothing new to report.
Great, that's easy enough. Finance Committee, Callan.
We accepted the audit report.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
anytime.
Both of you guys, thanks for your work on that. Appreciate it. Development Committee, Josh, you got anything?
No, not really.
Public Affairs, Denny, what do you got?
Well, the big thing is, just, we need to re-recognize Jen and all the work that she did. I know you did, but I think as president of the committee, I need to do it too. I was personally sick that night and I couldn't help. But, you know, she's such a great person that can put this together year after year, and it just runs so smooth. And even if I had been there, I probably wouldn't have done much because she'd already did it. We're very, very lucky to have Jen, and I hope everybody appreciates that.
Record number of vendors?
Yeah, there were 21 vendors. Couple of them, you know, said the right thing. They came to support the community. So, everybody seemed to sell just a little bit. So, but be nice to come up with ways for the committee to come up with ways to try to attract more attendees. How do we get more community support for events? The Belgian horse wagon rides were popular, as they always are. We talked about Santa already. And then the popcorn, hot cocoa, chili, water were popular. So it was kind of nice. Out of the budget of $2,000, I put the sheet in the packet. We spent a total of $849.49. And that's because we had $650 in sponsorships.
So did you guys run out of chili or did you have some?
No, there was about 2 gallons of chili left, and I donated it to Village Bible Church pastor.
So now I wasn't able to attend. How did that work? Did we charge for chili or no?
We just put we
For
can't take donations. The BST put a donation bucket out, and we got $60.
Okay.
So.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Anything else, Denny?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, let's go on to E, the sheriff's reports. Any questions for the sheriff's report? None?
I mean, if we ever wanted to dive into or get answers like criminal damage, what was that about?
I don't know, I've never done it, I've always just went with what
I
they,
mean, do we know if we can ever just request that, say,
well,
You can FOIA the report.
we could request?
It'll be redacted, but you can FOIA it.
Okay.
I think Andy would probably tell us as much as he could. I don't think he'd hold anything back on us, so. We can ask for it.
Yeah, I mean, if we see something trending and then, we wanna look into it a little bit further. I mean, I didn't see anything really stand out, but when I saw like criminal damage, I was wondering what that was about.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about that. So.
And the hours that we set for the sheriff is agreed hours every month
Yeah, I think,
that we get charged for, I should say.
yeah, we don't go over 20 hours a week. So.
Okay.
And that's the $80.45 an hour is what they charge, so. And it'd be a lot cheaper to have them than have our own police.
No, I get it.
There's times I'd like them to adjust their hours, but they're working with guys they gotta bring back in on overtime in such matters, so I do trust Andy that he's doing the best thing he can for us.
Absolutely.
Of course, there's always some things you'd like to see done differently, but they're the ones doing it, they're the
Yeah.
experts, so.
And we don't know all the circumstances
Right.
either, so we have faith in them.
Any other questions? Okay, let's go on to the village clerk and approval of the regular board meeting minutes from November 20th, 25. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
A second.
And let's have a roll call vote.
Roll call vote for 11:20 board meeting minutes. Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Callan Welsh.
Yeah.
Joshua Snyder.
Yes.
Richard Buckowitz.
Yeah.
Denny Sands.
Yeah.
Motion carried.
Okay, let's go on to grant updates.
So all the bills have been paid for the DeKalb County Community Foundation's Rural Vitality Grant, though what we're doing in the Lions Park. I can't close it out or do the final report until the climbing wall for playground equipment's installed in the spring. So it's got a April due date for the report. So hopefully spring breaks and we can get that done. Otherwise I'll request an extension. The shade structure for Purdy Park for the Community Economic Development Grant was delayed. The new ETA is January 26th. So I did request an extension on that grant and got that approved till April 30th of 26. So hopefully that also can be installed when spring breaks. Otherwise I can request another extension. And then today, about 5 or 6 p.m. tonight, Frank and I received an email, he probably hasn't seen it, of the signed
Go figure.
grant agreement. It was the Windstoller grant for $65,000. It's a process that started back in 2023, I believe, and a bunch of stuff fell through the cracks. So the agreement's been signed downstate. Frank had previously signed it. It took about 5 weeks. And we've been assigned a state grant manager that probably it's going to be after the holidays, but we'll connect with him to file the reports. And it's for Apache Storm Sewer Curb and Street that was done last year. So once we file the reports and do everything they need us to do, we'll get a check.
And that was all done out of general fund, so that's where this 65,000.
Go into general
Okay.
fund when we get the
We're
check.
gonna get the general fund back up in the black here pretty soon, so.
All the funds.
Good.
So I'm hoping by February we have a check, so I'll keep you guys updated.
Put us in line for what we need to do for sewer and water for the lead pipes.
There's a lot coming down the pipe,
Yes.
so to speak. And if you do look at, with your financials, there is we've got in there now where the monies we've spent on grants, and there's a separate small report in there, so I think that's pretty beneficial.
Absolutely.
So let's go on to number 6. Approval of bills and payroll for December of 2025.
Okay.
Questions?
Yes, I have a question. So what is the charge from, Chastain for the 250 for the,
Quiet zone.
quiet zone?
That was for putting together the quiet zone report, draft report.
Didn't we already pay them for that?
No, we don't pay in advance for things, we pay as they do them. So this would be the bill because they
That was 228.
issued us the quiet zone draft report.
Did we get any
So they
answers
billed us
on,
for
are we gonna talk about that later?
We are, about the quiet zone, yes, we are.
Okay.
Well, I guess,
And it wasn't even a good report, cause the numbers don't even match.
no, so here's what I'd like to do to check into that, because I think we already paid them. And that should have come with the quiet zone packet that we got from them initially. I'll make a motion to approve the bills without paying Chastain, minus Chastain's 220. Until we figure out what's going on, because I think they're gouging us, is what I think they're doing. So I'd like to make a motion to pay the bills other than minus Chastain's 220.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, could I have a roll call vote, please?
I don't think it's right.
Roll call vote, Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Denny Sands,
Yes.
Joshua Snyder,
Yes.
Kellen Welsh,
Yes.
Richard Lockowitz,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Treasurer report as of November 30th, 2025. The fund summary reports are there. Yes. Have you all got a chance to look at it and review it? Everything. You know, I know it's a lot to take in, and we have changed the way we're reporting it, and I hope that it helps you see where the money's at. We've got a long ways to go yet, but I do think the report is a little bit easier to read.
I do have a question, hopefully we didn't pass it by already. So the bills, I think that's what we already agreed to pay, I just had one question. So line item 2337, or 23,337. I wonder what that copy print quarter
Impact
was.
networking.
Yeah, what is that?
So that is, when the paperwork was done, and it's probably my fault that I misunderstood, I gave them the numbers to base off of, to figure for how many copies and printing we would be doing monthly. The monthly number was actually what was put as the quarterly number, so it was way off. So that is the overage charge for the copies.
And how often is that gonna happen?
I had them fix the numbers,
Okay,
so there'll be a minor impact to our monthly payment.
so we renegotiated and they're gonna charge us more.
A little bit more, it's like $25 or $50 more a
Yeah,
month.
cause we can't keep
versus
paying that
this.
overage, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it was a one-time payment, and I can't figure out where, went through my notes, and I found what I sent her, and I said monthly on it, so I don't know how it ended up quarterly.
I was thinking it. I don't wanna be a jerk here, but.
You're like, wait a minute. Yeah, so yeah, as long as that is not gonna repeat itself.
No.
then we should be fine. Alright, sorry.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions on that report?
Maybe one too far, too fast. So. Other questions? How about the funds report? Understand it? I mean, is it better than what it was?
What's the other column where it says beginning revenues, expenses, other?
They're, what is that, the things that have been put into Locust but haven't hit the bank account yet. So they're, unapplied cash.
There we go.
And
Outstanding checks.
outstanding
Deposits
checks.
deposits in transit.
And this is
It's a balance sheet
current next
Month
30
to
days,
month.
this will be reflected in the bank account balance, kind of thing?
Correct. Well, as long as people catch their checks and yes, so yes, that all gets every month, there's the same things things have been written in Locus, but haven't come out of the checking account and haven't been reconciled yet.
Okay,
So-
the other numbers are all positive and they're all increasing our cash. I just want to make sure that's correct.
Yes, because the Locus system's already recognized that a check has been written to somebody and subtracted that. So it's the end of the month system, all the adjustments will happen and it reverses and clears out, and then it starts over for the next month.
Okay, if that were the case, that number would be reflected in expenses. So like in the debt reduction, we have $40 in revenue and 3,500 in other. The 3,500 is increasing the balance in the debt reduction. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. Do you know what is the $3,500 that goes in debt reduction?
not without looking up and going through all the details.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I can find out though.
Okay.
Quite honestly, that's the column I don't like is other. I'd like to,
Part of the accrual counting thing.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I understand it before we move on. So, I'll accept it, but if you can send me an email or something to let me know, and that would be good.
Okay.
okay, we don't have to approve that
We
or,
need a motion to accept
We
the
do?
treasurer's
Accept the
report.
first file.
okay, we need a motion to approve the operating statement as of November 2025.
Accept the first file.
We're accepting the treasurer's report, which is starting on page
I thought we did that.
25. No,
No, well, let's do it now. Can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report, please?
Motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call vote?
Mark Stanley?
Yes.
Denny Sands?
Yes.
Richard Lockowitz?
Yes.
Joshua Snyder?
Yes.
Callan Welsh?
Yes.
Okay, and again, everybody, if there's questions on the operating statement. Do we need to prove that?
You'd accept it, place on file, not approving it. You're just accepting it, placing it on file.
Okay. So can I have a motion to accept the operating statement as of November 2025?
Make a motion to accept the operating statement.
I'll
Second.
second.
Roll call vote, please.
Sorry, that one was just provided as for your information, but wasn't ready for a vote.
And this is for 2026, correct? Or is it the
Fiscal
next
year 26,
So,
as of November.
so we only budgeted 1,000 in postage and we're already above that? Or we appropriated?
I'm really not clear whether we budgeted or appropriated. We're gonna change that.
That is what was appropriated, because we do not have a budget right now. So the
Right.
numbers you're seeing that say budget, those were appropriations for the
But I mean,
expenses.
$1,000
And yes,
seems
that
bad.
means
That's like,
we mail a lot of stuff, it includes utility bills.
no,
That
but
gets
that's what I'm
split
saying,
between
why does that
accounts.
seem like it's all, like, super low?
And I actually think that it's 500, if my,
And water and sewer numbers are way lower than what was appropriated, so we might just need to look at redistribution with the next appropriation.
And then the printing, we haven't done any printing?
No, we do very little printing.
Okay.
Printing used to be used for like the annual CCR, the water report. And
Oh,
we don't print, we just print 20 of them in-house, because it's available online or if someone requests it.
All right, that's all
Okay, let's go on to D,
Roll call vote.
oh, roll call, we didn't do that?
No, I had to.
What were you doing? Come on,
I didn't have it prepped for that.
keep up here.
Mark Stanley, on the operating statement. Denny Sands,
Yes.
Joshua Snyder, Kellen Welsh,
Yes.
Richard Lekowitz.
I have.
How are we doing, can I go on?
I'm all done with that one.
Okay.
Yep.
D, resolution 2025-12-18R2, approving interfund transfer of $11,629.50 from the facade fund to the general fund. That was money we weren't using in the facade, whatever it is, facade.
I make a motion.
I second it.
Roll call, please.
Richard Lekowitz,
Yes.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Denny Sands,
Yes.
Kellen Welsh,
Yes.
Joshua Snyder. Yes. Motion carried.
And just to be clear, this has already been done, right?
Yes. Frank had asked for it to be done, so we're ratifying doing it.
All right.
We would have moved it back if you voted it down.
Let's go on to E, resolution 2025-12-18R3, approving interfund transfer of $59,957 to the general fund.
And the sheet that was laying out there for a resolution that replaced page 36 in the packet. There's just a few words added to the resolution. That it's repayment for past obligation.
What was the resolution?
You doing them all under E?
You doing all three?
All three, yep.
I'll make a motion to approve all three.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Denny Sands,
Yes.
Richard Lekowitz,
Yes.
Kellen Welsh,
Yes.
Josh Snyder. Yes. Motion carried.
Okay, just so you guys know, that puts the general fund back into the black, but we're taking the water fund into the red a little bit again, which will be taken care of when we get funds from the upcoming
Utility.
water and sewer bills. We're getting there. Resolution 2025-12-18R4, approving the opening of a checking account for grant funds.
So what's our benefit of taking to put the grant funds in a separate checking account? Is that so you can disperse them where they need to be?
Yeah, it's kind of like the MFT fund. We do it with that. And we can do the same thing with the grant fund. We can put them in its own checking account. And then as we make payments, it's a minor money shift because it's not a,
Instead of doing
that's
out
not
of the general
6 times a
fund?
month having to move money around. It's once
Yeah.
a month.
Depending on the nature of the grant, some are required to be segregated.
Yeah.
Okay, I make a motion to approve that then.
I second.
Roll call vote, please.
Mark Stanley,
Yes.
Richard Lekowitz,
Yes.
Kellen Welsh,
Yes.
Josh Snyder, Denny Sands.
Yes.
Motion carried.
G under 6 is discussion on the operating budget. I think we're back to kicking the can down the road here again, but I think that needs to go back to the finance committee. We've developed a new sheet, so to say, how we see the budget being done. And I think it needs some work from the finance committee, but we do need to get out of working on an appropriation, not a budget. I've been kicking some numbers around, but I would like the finance committee to look at it and maybe before next month get back and have an idea where we're gonna budget. Then we can look at what we're gonna appropriate after we get a budget done. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, the next finance meeting that I'll be able to have is gonna be after the new year. But
Since Christmas is next weekend, New Year's is the week
And
after.
that's perfectly fine, but if we could have one after the new year and at least look at the form and decide which way we're going.
Yeah.
So you'll get back with a date for finance. And I'm sure we put Jeff go on your committee also, so the three of you get together and get back for the next meeting. And then we've got utility billing on here.
Meters will be read at the end of this month, and the goal is to have the bills in the mail by or before January 8th. I'm shooting for before that. So, because with the new year, they won't be printed until Monday the 5th.
So I'll see mine about the end of the month then.
Now, the post office has told me, not Rosie, the postmaster over in Waterman, that their boss has approved that they do not put the rural route stuff, those of you that have post boxes at home, out to Fox Valley. And because on average it took 15 to 17 days last quarter for people with mailboxes at home to get their mail from the village.
Yeah.
So they're going to just cycle it right through the Shabbona post office directly out to PO boxes and mailboxes. So you should have it within a day or two.
Awesome.
Of the day it goes in the mail. So I'll shoot out to the board if you want the day I take them to the post office, so those of you with rural route can see how long it takes you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I didn't receive my last bill until we walked in for our meeting. And I think it was already due then.
I had 2 people that received their late bill before they received their original bill. I waived the late fees for them. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Let's go on to 7 old business. Discussion action on a scooter / e-bike ordinance. And I'm sorry, I don't like to do this, but we need to kick this back to the development committee, Josh.
Okay.
I think Jen pulled out some ordinances from other municipalities to look at. If you guys could look at it and get back to us for the next meeting.
Sure.
So you'll have to.
Would that be development or public affairs?
Ordinances or development.
Okay.
We'll, I got other stuff for Danny's committee to do, so. And Josh is
No,
on
I was
that.
just thinking
Josh is
public
on that
affairs
anyway,
is
so.
gonna impact the citizens.
So if you'll get back, Josh, with a date for, we'll get that published and make William happy, if that can be done. Go on to new business. 8A is, I'm letting you know that I did purchase a new snow blade for the skid steer. The one we had was too small for the machine that we have leased. And the old one we had was in pretty bad shape. So we were able to trade the old one off and bring a new one in for like $3,900. And again, at the time, I was pretty sure we were gonna need it. And I think the new skid steer is helping out there. Jerry can attest there's enough power to run the snow blower now and so if they don't have the tools, they can't do the job. So that's the way I looked at it.
Absolutely. I don't hear anybody complaining about other than the way the parking changed, but parking uptown since it snowed, so you're doing a good job. Keep it up, both of you. Thank you.
We're trying. And that helps with Callan's getting the people from the hotel out of the parking lot and in the apartment building, getting their people out. We're trying to get the south parking lot cleared out is the idea, and get them to move into the south parking lot while we clear the north one.
That work for you?
It's good in theory, but maybe it doesn't always work.
Wow.
We're got something to try.
Trial and error.
It is. B is discussion on the street light ground fault interrupters. Somewhere somebody thought it was smart to put a GFI on top of the light pole. So when the GFI trips, you have to have a bucket truck to go up and reset the GFI. Or the Christmas decoration doesn't work. We tried to reach out to Fairgram to find out if it was a state mandate that we had a GFI up there or not, and to my knowledge, we haven't heard back from them.
No, it's probably gonna be after Christmas before I get a response, but.
So anyway, again, Jerry and John worked on the Christmas decorations and the street lights, and the company was back out and worked on them. I guess we're kind of getting into E here, but we've got a couple poles that don't even have 110 at the top of the pole to plug the street light or the Christmas decoration in.
So, how did all this pass inspection for the downtown beautification project if you don't have the proper outlets, the proper voltage?
I would have to assume, and it's only assumption, you know what that gets you.
Yeah.
That it was done to the specification that Fairgrounds supplied to the contractor.
So.
I wouldn't put a GFI on top of a 35-foot pole. I just wouldn't do it, but maybe there's a regulation that they have to do it that way.
So I guess I'm gonna ask, is there any accountability or warranty, or they're paid? They wash it, it's kinda like the dirt. I don't wanna thank you for what you do uptown, but it's kinda like we have the wrong dirt still in the planters. Did anybody ever figure out what we needed to do for the proper dirt? Cause I see we have spring planting here, and how are we gonna plant the wrong dirt again?
It's part of the closeout process for downtown, and that is in process. It's in IDOT's court right now. They're going through everything, including all the stuff on that, and there's supposed to be credits issued.
So, can we add the light poles, knowing that they have the wrong?
Couldn't they retrofit that? Come
We
back
don't
and
know
fix
that they have the wrong thing
Yeah,
up
we
there.
don't know
That's the
that.
problem.
That's why we tried to reach out to Fairground to find out.
Okay.
I think I can speak to that a little, because I've dealt with building code. When you have an exterior outlet like that, GFIs are required, but it should still be in a watertight box.
Oh, this is just opening the element?
No, it's in a watertight box, but as I understand it, some of the watertight boxes were open.
Well, that and some of the Christmas lights aren't sealed. None of them are sealed. So that'll trip a GFI.
And those are all
There's
running?
no reason to have a GFI up there. I don't care what anybody says. You gotta get up there in a bucket truck, you're insulated. There's no reason for it. Switch them out, be done with it.
Yeah, if I were designing it, I would have, you can have a central GFI that you can just flip a switch. I wouldn't have put an individual one up,
Still GFI.
you know.
Well, and they are fused. There's two fuses
So
in
it's
each pole.
fused and
And
GFI.
GFI?
Yeah,
GFI was designed to wash your hair next to outlet or wash dishes,
Right.
not having Christmas lights
Yeah,
35 foot up in the air. I'm just
I agree.
afraid, you guys kick the can, you're gonna get an answer you don't wanna hear. Just take care of it, be done with it.
No, exactly.
with that part of it too, we're waiting to close this out, and any modifications that we make to it can come back and bite us where we don't want
I
to
get
be.
it.
All I'm asking by asking the questions, I guess the easiest way to ask this, were they signed off on and paid for, so the village is liable for
The repair.
I
the
think that's
repairs?
what we're gonna find out, yes, but,
that? That's
So-
the easiest way to ask my question.
and again,
So it's on us anyway.
we've asked Fairgram, we've reached out to Fairgram, and they haven't got back to us yet.
the person that's gonna answer it's on vacation, so she's not back till the first of the new year.
Realistically, they're not gonna get fixed till spring anyway.
I totally understand. The only thing I'm getting at is I know that the state held up money, and we may end up owing, one, because of wrong dirt in the planters, and there was something else with another light pole or something.
Well, there was the lower fuse panel things that were,
Yes,
and
so I
that
know,
IDOT signed off on and said, done, and there's no warranty that covers that, and they released the street light poles to us.
okay. But the
Like I
dirt
said,
one,
we
they're
need
still
the
fighting.
project to close out if we're gonna alter.
Yeah, cause I think I read the one report where we were gonna owe them like $30,000 or $40,000, and that was, part of it was the wrong dirt in the planters.
They owe us.
Oh, they're gonna
They're gonna
owe us?
owe us.
They're gonna
It's
owe
gonna be
us.
credit,
Oh,
credit to
okay,
us. Yeah,
okay.
that's why we need to get the closeout done.
But the dirt isn't gonna be changed unless we do it after we close out the grant, cause we can't do it before we close it up.
And then the dirt problem will be on us to add potting soil or what have you for the plants.
What's going on with the other street light that never got hooked up? Across next to Beth's building on Line 9.
I guess I don't know that.
Never got hooked up.
It's next to the apartment building on the line
Next to
corner.
Beth's building. Over those.
There's no power to it?
You never noticed that.
So we don't have a fuse problem there?
Don't have any problem there. There's no power to
There's
it.
no power to it.
They never hooked it back up.
Well, we'll reach out to Fairground again.
Report it. We'll report it.
Okay, we may touch upon this again. The C is discussion and action on the spring planning. And I'm gonna defer to Angie because Angie's now in charge of the spring planning. She's taking care of that and, I'm sure Angie's gonna ask for some help and, but she can tell you what she's got going on so far.
So I contacted the ag teacher at the high school who teaches a dual credit class with Kish. Yes, with Kish. So the students get high school credit as well as Kish credit for taking this class. The class ends in December. It's ending now. But the students are going to design and plant the plants downtown with the help of the woman who planted them last year, who works at Kish in the ag department. I don't know exactly where. Horticulture, yes. And so she's gonna consult with the class and help get them the plants at cost. They don't have anywhere to grow them, and the Kish greenhouse is under construction, so they're not gonna grow them either. But the plan is that what's the lady's name?
Kim.
Kim Rotella. She's gonna work with the high school class to make a plan, and I've asked them to have a proposal by March 1st, and so that we can see what it is they're hoping to do. And then they would then plant all of the planters. And so I think that they're going to it'll be like a field trip for them. So they'll be able to, during the school day, go and plant all the plants. So I think that if we were closed out and were able to replace dirt, it would sure be nice to have high school students replace all that dirt in the planters.
Maybe they could deal with, or work with, DeKalb High School, because I think they still do the, plant sale every year.
DeKalb High School does?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
They have that greenhouse at the old high school where they do a horticulture class, yeah.
Yeah, I'll mention that to her.
Probably need to know how many people are gonna be up there, so we get them enough thus. That close to the street.
Interesting. Okay.
Work in progress, yeah, John.
Are you talking about just the planters, or are you talking about the bump outs?
No, this
This
is just the planters.
planters, okay.
Right.
That dirt wasn't provided at the same time as the bump outs, was it? It's not the same dirt, is it? 'Cause those were empty until she got ready to plant.
Oh, so the plant,
You
the soil in the planters is not the wrong dirt.
I don't know that, but don't just go throwing it out without checking.
Okay, Kim, and actually, now that I say that, Kim mentioned that it was the wrong soil. So I think that with
Okay.
Kim consulting, I think that we'll get it correct.
Something about the report with the grant and the money, how it was spent, the wrong dirt was in there, and we were not cleared to get the grant money
In the planters?
in the planners,
Okay,
is what,
that's fine.
that's the way it was written. And I questioned Frank on it, I questioned Jen on it.
No, it
Planter
probably,
dirt- the
they
planter
probably
dirt
put
was
dirt
wrong.
on it, it just didn't have the
It wasn't.
seal on it. Yeah.
Whatever it was, they came and checked it,
Okay.
and they said it was the wrong dirt in the planters, and they weren't gonna give us the money for the grant. I'm serious.
No, that's where we're getting credit.
Okay,
There's a
so
whole
now it's
issue
gonna
with
be
the
a
land-
credit.
The landscaper and IDOT went to bat, and we're getting issued a credit for the planter dirt.
The gift that
There's a
never
plant
gets-
issue for some of the
just keeps
plants
on
that were
giving.
planted in the bump outs that we're also getting a credit on.
More to come.
I shook my head when I read it.
Okay. I'd like to go on to D, discussion on the water tower Santa and Christmas decorations. There's been more than enough comments around that we didn't put Santa Claus up on the water tower. That he's been there for, I don't know how many years, and this year we didn't put him up, and yes, we didn't put him up. We had a snowstorm, and I didn't want the public works employees going up on the water tower.
Fair enough.
So with that being said, and the Christmas decorations we're now in the last year of the 3-year contract that we had with the supplier. So this I'd like to kick down to Denny at the Public Affairs Committee. And look at what we do with Santa Claus on the water tower, if we do, or if we do Santa Claus somewhere else. And what we do with the Christmas decorations going forward. Maybe we just discuss with the vendor, I don't know, but if you take that on.
Our contract is up after.
Historically, have we leased them yearly?
Yes.
Cost of purchasing them for what we pay to lease them, you could buy like 3 of them.
And then we have to maintain them and store them and put them up and
Yeah.
down and.
Yeah.
So do you guys install, or they come through and
It's a
install?
company that comes and does them. They provide the ornaments and they install them. If we have an issue, they come back. They did come back and swap out some wreaths that were kind of dim on half of it.
One thing.
They
that
do
we-
us, the Waterman, Hinckley, locally.
One thing that helped with that, if we knew when they were gonna be here, we could turn the lights on and we could monitor them. Because they showed up at 3:30. We didn't know, we didn't know what they were gonna do. We assumed that they weren't gonna finish the job. We could have turned the lights on manual so they could see if they worked or not.
And that's part of what can be negotiated with if we do a new contract with the company.
So I'd throw it out there so they get.
Part of our
information.
contract is they have to be up before, the first Saturday in December.
Well, I don't care when they put them up,
So-
but if they let
Because
us
they came
know.
one year to put them up the second weekend in December. December's already halfway over.
You willing to take that on?
Well, it sounds like it's a little controversial, but yeah, I'll take it on.
Okay. So add that to your agenda for the, you're not done yet, by the way, for your next meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go on to E.
And what do we need to know, whether to have Santa next year, or
Well,
what's your biggest question?
if we're gonna put Santa up on the water tower, if we're gonna put Santa on top of the clock
Too late to put
downtown.
Santa on top of the water tower?
Pardon me?
Is it too late to put Santa on?
I don't think I'd wanna put him up there tonight.
No,
Santa looks like a big white ball up there right now. Santa is old.
Santa's well weathered.
Santa's worn out.
We need to get the kids then to paint the sides of the train, maybe they go up and touch up Santa. Make sure the power's on.
That'd be the right guys to get, yeah.
Give them an orange vest and a rope and send them up.
So that'll be something to look at, and also to look at the contract for street lighting, or for
So
Christmas lighting.
maybe this company could take on putting Santa up on the water tower?
Well, the boom truck's not big enough, but maybe
No.
they could.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just
There's a
asking.
lot of decor they'll do.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they won't put a
I
Santa
did,
on top of the
I
water
saw a lot
tower.
of keyboard warriors, you know, that were worried about Santa. And Santa's up there, Santa's just not turned on and Santa ain't touched up. So he looked like Frosty the Snowman sitting on top of
The Santa's up there is broke.
Okay. So we'd have to get a new Santa, figure out how to mount Santa on the water tower
I think
again.
that's figured out.
Okay,
There's a mount they put up there years ago.
okay.
It's just after getting set up, but
Well, I guess the biggest thing is going up there in a safe time because we've had the snow early this year and ice. And how are you gonna send someone up there to do a Santa in the weather?
Richard will go.
Yeah. We can get Trevor. to come out.
matter to anybody
that's Harness sitting up.
in the comfort of their own home typing out a complaint.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe,
can I tell them we're working on it and we'll have one by next year?
You can, whatever comes out of your committee, you can bring back to us. How's it?
Okay, because they're not gonna get it up there this year.
No, there's not gonna get it up there this year.
No.
Okay, we can go on to E, discussion for an ad hoc engineering RFP committee. Our contract with Chastain and Associates is up in April. I think we need to be looking for an RFP for engineering.
Are you sure it's up in April? I think it's up in December.
I think it's,
It's usually approved January, February.
I remember looking at the Chastain contract at some point, that was the calendar year, not the fiscal year.
okay, and that even makes this more important to get this going.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do an ad hoc committee on it with the chairman of each one of the other subcommittees to be on the committee and look at that with our lawyer. And so we get the right type of RFP out there.
Yeah.
And hope to get some quotes back for engineering. So if you guys would be willing to be on that committee, it'd be great. That'd be Denny and Calvin and Josh and Mark.
Yep.
So there'd be four of you on the committee, but I do think we need to look at that. The sooner the better. Anybody have a problem with that?
Just put Mark in charge, that's all.
No, we can do that.
Good.
So the committee can
Yeah,
pick the
yeah.
chairman but let's look at a January meeting to get this kicked off and get started.
okay, and Jen, in the meantime, can you find out when our contract is definitely up with Chastain?
1 year from the time it was signed, and it was signed on January 27th.
She looked it up. She didn't know that
I
off the
was
top of
looking
her
it
head.
Okay, so January 27th, we're done with that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do we have to take a vote on this new committee? We don't wanna break any rules.
We need to
It's
vote.
on next round. Pretty fine.
Okay.
It says
Just so
discussion.
everyone knows, it's an RFQ, with request for qualification. You don't need to do an RFP or even an RFQ for professional services, and that falls under it. So you're basically soliciting a qualification. It's gonna be difficult to get a quote. You'll get their hourly rates, but to know what the scope of a project is, you probably won't get that.
So are do we get, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, no, okay, go ahead.
Do we get charged an annual rate from Chastain? Or is it only by?
No, it's by invoiced when they do things.
And
So we
do
don't
have a general
prepay for
services
any.
contract with them.
Yeah, you'll have like an MSA, master service agreement, and then they'll have a statement of
And
work
as
for-
they attend a meeting or do something, they invoice you for it. So it's a pay as you go, it's not a pay up front thing.
Alright,
But
That's why they're not gonna be happy about not getting the bill paid for the quiet zone.
so
So,
convince me
no, I know.
that shouldn't have been in the write-up for the quiet zone.
No, I know.
Well, it seems like they're charging us money to send the email. Like that's where the.
$220 worth.
Yeah.
And it had nothing against you asking them for it, but it wasn't asked by either one of these people.
I had asked them a long time ago. I had forgotten about it and I got the email.
Well, they hadn't gotten all the comments back from all the agencies until March, April. So there was a delay on all the governmental agencies that were involved getting their comments back.
They told me at the time that it was BNSF that was holding things up. That did not seem to be correct.
The last comments they got were ICC.
I think from my conversations with the BNSF, you're correct, was not them.
Yeah.
Not to get the report until October, I think was wrong, and we got some things we gotta do there, so.
I guess to Frank's point, the easier question would have been just to ask BNSF if it was feasible to do that here, instead of the village just going forward and giving BNSF money and Chastain money at a total loss, because there's no way it's feasible.
We're in the $62,000 worth of engineering on it.
And it's still not
And
feasible.
plus, we got a $200 and some bill for emailing the report out.
$220 to be exact.
Okay, thank you.
And 80 cents.
Yeah, and don't forget about the 80 cents.
So with that being said, that brings us to F. Discussion on the BNSF quiet zone draft report. And y'all got it, right? Y'all got it in the email.
Yes.
And again, it's my foot on the can, but I do want to kick this down to the infrastructure committee to go through the quiet zone report and try to figure it out, because I know Richard's got some questions on it.
So, go ahead.
Well, did we ever get the numbers clarified?
We did not, I did not.
Did you see the scrambled numbers that they had?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you read into the other fact is that you gotta put a retaining wall up, a concrete retaining wall at the alley on the village's property with a chain link fence up and reroute everybody's driveways? So anybody's driveways that exit to the alley,
Right.
anywhere on the railroad tracks, you have to revert it on their property.
Well,
If
you
it
fall under
comes
that
off the alley.
60-foot rule, which
Yes.
is anytime there's a driveway or an alley, you have to go to alternate safety precautions. The thing that I don't understand is if we're able to use the higher number, okay, so my assumption is that as long as we go below that number, we qualify, okay? So at the beginning of it says that the high number is 15, the low number that we have to get to is 7,700. Then after that point, the report goes to a 9,200. I have to look it up again.
Yeah.
All right. One of those options, which not closing Pontiac, just closing Nokomis.
Yeah,
Did you see where it says as is and we qualify using the higher number?
yes.
So.
And I don't get that because
This is the thing with this report, I think, that stuck out to me the most. It even says in the report, with the current numbers, without changing anything, we qualify for quiet zone. So the issue is they're recommending a whole bunch of stuff because we have to, I guess the concern is that in the future we might not if we get more traffic. They want to get us below this lower number, which means we never have to re-qualify for it. But as it stands right now, we could file the notice of intent and file the establishment of quiet zone paperwork, and we could have a quiet zone. We don't need to do all this stuff. All the stuff that they put in the report are just recommendations. So that.
So even the closure of the cones?
Yeah, that $1.5 million worth of work or whatever that they're recommending, we already qualify without doing the $1.5 million worth of work. So,
But leaving the cones open, the pedestrian, or closing it?
Josh, you remember about the Nokomis?
It had to be closed.
Yeah. No,
So there's the one that says as is, if you look at the
But I
closures,
think
they
that
close
one-
the cones.
Is a supplemental, and we have to have the wayside horns.
they want to put the wayside horns at Shabbona Road, but again, we can establish the quiet zone across the whole proposed area right now without doing anything. And I think that we should.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, all this $1.5 million worth of work, that's like, all right, in an ideal world, yeah, and then we don't have to worry about future traffic flows or whatever. But like, it says in the report that right now we're under the number we need to be under to qualify for the thing. So, like,
Looking at the report, the number seems to move around.
right, yeah, but they had,
Well, I'd like us to establish what that base number is. Is it the 9,200 or the 7,700? If it's the 9,200, we're done. But if it's the 7,700, we're screwed.
Yes.
And to that, just because we're not gonna get anywhere with it tonight, I'd like the infrastructure committee to take a look at it. And then the finance committee also needs to take a look at it for money that we might have to spend. It was appropriated in our last appropriation for $500,000 for this project.
So how about we meet together, finance and infrastructure, and go over and try to hash out what numbers are what
Right.
together?
Well, is that something that we can just have somebody request from the office to the NSF? To establish what that base number is?
Probably gotta pay them another 50 grand.
I think the key excerpt from this is, in its base condition, the QZRI falls between the nationwide significant risk threshold and the risk index with horns, meaning the corridor would qualify for establishment of a quiet zone, but would not yet be self-sustaining, meaning they require continued monitoring, like we have to file a report every year, something like that. But as long as we remain under that number, and I think that we will unless we get a lot of population growth, we qualify for the quiet zone without doing anything else. I forget what the exact number is, but it was like 15,000 was the number we need to be under.
That was the high number. The low number, they were bouncing around. The initial number was 7,700. And then throughout the report, it jumped to 92. And then even at the end, they started showing the 7,700 again.
The NSRT is
Yeah,
15,488.
That's the high number.
And that's the number that we need to be below in order to qualify for the quiet zone.
Oh, I thought it was the lower number, and that's what we were trying to get below.
Qualifying with the supplemental with restrictions, as far as the wayside horns and that type of thing. It's the way I understood it.
Yeah, so the high number is the wayside horn, the low number is no wayside horn.
Yeah, that's,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah, that's all to get underneath of the low number.
Right.
The low number
But
is
we
the
just
number
need
that
to know-
doesn't require any continued monitoring.
Right. But, yeah, well, but
And that's something that we don't have to do immediately. Like,
Right.
we could establish it now and work towards it over
So
time.
who monitors that?
Probably the ICC and the FRA. BNSF might have a say in that too.
I think Commerce Commission and the FRA is who's
Yeah.
gonna monitor it.
Yeah.
I have got the guy's name, it's in the report from BNSF, and I got his phone number. I'll see if I can get somebody out here, because it seems to me it'd be a lot simpler if we sat down with the railroad and said, can we do this? And I
right.
think they're gonna have an idea whether we can or can't.
The people that ultimately get to make the decision on whether we can establish a quiet zone, it's the FRA. So I think that we should get someone from the FRA to say yes or no, you can do this.
I think that might be a real stretch to get somebody from the FRA. But if we could get an idea from from the railroad, and I'm sure the Commerce Commission, we could get somebody from that, but the FRA person comes from Washington DC.
Maybe we can get a video conference with them.
Let me see what I can do, but I think to Mark's question, or Richard's, whoever it was, can we do a meeting together? Put it on the agenda for your meeting?
I don't think it's gonna help to meet separate and then try to collaborate.
We can do it.
I think it'd be beneficial to have the two committees meet together and try to hash out what we have or what we don't have.
Yeah, I would ask you two guys to get together to get a date for that meeting, and
Okay.
let's do it as soon as possible.
The best thing to establish, is it that one, or is it that?
And
I
let's
think
let's go on to G here, just
because
because
the number is calculated based on your average score.
my thought is, and again, Denny, this will be for you,
The as-is number's 89.
we need to put up a digital sign.
The as-is number.
I would like to have a digital sign
Four.
So if we do nothing.
for announcements for the village, we used to have a hand lettered sign that Beth Ainsley did.
Where they actually enter.
Beth had the sign over by Hardware Hank.
She did,
Where they actually.
Yeah, it's gone. due to the downtown beautification project.
Okay.
Again, the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah,
But I'd like
Well, that's
to-
what I'm saying, that's why it's ridiculous.
Can we
It's not.
just do one meeting, please?
Yes. Alright, when do we wanna do the meeting?
Right after first of the year.
I'm available any day other than Wednesday. Shoot for like a Thursday or a Tuesday.
We do Tuesday the 6th, June 6th.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tuesday the 6th. At 6 p.m.
Are we gonna be able to get like an ICC person here?
I'll start working on that tomorrow.
Thank you, Frank. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Well, not everybody would say that.
I will.
No.
So it's as is.
And getting back to my digital sign,
That's it.
what we put in here for G is,
Right, that's if we close.
We had this-
Can we, you guys, can you have that conversation after?
Yeah.
Thank you.
We moving for adjournment?
No,
Not
he's
yet.
still talking, he's
Oh,
still
sorry.
talking.
I got something I wanna do, Richard.
Alright, go ahead.
Okay.
Where you wanna put the sign at?
I don't know where I wanna put the sign at, but Denny is been out in the forefront for signage, for businesses, for the lake, for, this could all fold into that. But we need a sign to announce meetings, and not everybody, myself included, looks at this thing every day. If we had a digital sign out there, we could use it to announce meetings, and in the clubs in town could use it. The Lions Club could use it, the fire department could use it. But I would like to look into one. I'm not asking to purchase one.
Do we own that piece on the corner by Hardware Hanks where that other sign was?
No, we don't. We'd have to get permission, or and again, it's something that I think we need to explore, just start to explore
Yeah.
a digital sign, and that I think would dovetail into what Denny's trying to do already with signage.
I think that sign still exists.
It does,
Are
it's
you
behind.
volunteering to change all the lettering on it?
This was the
That's
hang.
All
why-
I'm saying is it's worth a question.
It's why the village passed on it, cause no one would volunteer to be the person responsible to change it.
I think that was volunteered back in the day.
Beth did it. Then she stopped doing it, it stopped.
I think we're gonna have to talk to Beth, because that was a good place for it, where it was.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have to talk to Beth and see if she'd help us out, or, again, a work in progress to dovetail with the other signage that we're.
Are you looking at a electronic sign,
Yes.
like I'm saying digital?
Mhm.
Double-sided, Denny.
Double-sided or two signs?
Double-sided sign, one side.
And the problem would be getting it out close enough to the street with
Well, and again, that's,
Yeah.
if you're willing to take it on, I'd like to look at it.
Sure, I'll get ahold of my buddy Beth.
Okay. So, you'll put it on the agenda for your next?
Yep.
Okay. Good, that was harder than I thought it should be. Richard,
Yeah, I didn't see that. Bring it.
number 9,
Move to adjourn.
second.
Yeah, I came in after that was added to the agenda. I thought we were done.
Well, you should have been here on time.
I know, I should have.
Right?
He was just making up for it.
Who was the second?
I was the
Or-
second.
Thank you.
I third it.
Well, let's have a voice vote on adjournment. The lawyer's doing his
Uh-oh.
job.
Oh, boy.
All in favor?
You want-
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard.
Merry Christmas,
Thanks, guys.
everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Sorry for being late.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry New Year.